Desert Storm is almost in my mind, one of the worst things that happened, because it was like it
validated them.
Yeah, or it went like, we could do so. Like when George W. Bush goes to finish his daddy's job, he's like, well, we can do this quickly. And America's throughout the 21st century, the Americans have been like, well, we can just do this quickly, whether it's and they get bogged down in forever wars.
Right. Well, do you think that Venezuela was kind of that to Trump? To a degree. I mean, that was one day, one night.
Yeah. I think that was
between lunch and dinner.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Does history repeat itself, or does it just rhyme?
This is the podcast where a guy who knows his history talks to a guy who doesn't know it at all. The self-appointed greatest historian ever
and his BFF Jono present History Rhymes.
Welcome to the History Rhymes podcast. Today is definitely a different day, and we definitely didn't change our shirts. So this is part 2 of the Iran podcast, and we've got a lot to talk about today. We have run through a lot of Iranian history. How many years did we cover, Tom?
2,000.
2,000 years.
Straight up.
Yeah.
No problem.
And we did it in 1 hour. And yes, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
It's very easy.
Yeah, we
especially when you have printed notes.
Why do you gotta do that?
Well, I just want to let everyone know that you're coming prepared. And I'm not. I'm the guy who's here to listen and learn and also comment on random things and derail it a little bit. Yeah. And then you rein it back in, and then we might have a couple of Rambo or Sound of Music references in there.
Yeah. Some Muppets.
Yeah, some Muppets,
Rambo.
Maybe we could veer off into a little Hanna-Barbera kind of cartoon references, a little Jetsons, maybe the Flintstones. Who knows? We can go anywhere today.
That's amazing.
We never know where things can go.
So yeah, I do I do like, I'm a teacher.
And so I'm a student.
I do have notes in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
That I just to keep me on track, and I like to have an outline so we're not just rambling. A good outline, my father always said. He's like, you got a good outline, you can do anything, Tom.
Yeah.
Except for grow to 6 feet.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we got
and my father said a good interruption will take you anywhere, and you're probably going to be taller than Tom.
And you're like, who's Tom, Daddy?
It's like, you'll find out one day.
You'll know soon.
That's Bob.
So yeah, we covered the first half of the 20th century, and our main theme is as we look at this brutal war going on in Iran right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a modern war with mass bombings. There's stories of like the United States is using Claude, like AI, for their targeting systems.
Yeah.
And there's that story of like the AI, and it's just like some intern at the end's like, yeah, sure, that's right. And like the AI picked out, they're trying to bomb like an army station, but they bombed, it was called like Police Park, and they read it wrong. So they sent a $3 million missile into like a park bench.
It's the military equivalent of getting Claude to write your final essay.
It's like, and then your professor's like, whatever, we're all doomed anyways.
This is clearly AI.
Yeah,
and you hit the wrong target.
But then so was my PhD thesis. So.
Yeah,
So anyway. Yeah, so we're trying to make sense of this modern war through the lens of the past, and also like, is a regime change war possible in Iran? I think it is. I don't know if we currently have the capability to do it, but the United States, and before them Britain and Russia, have a long history of intervention in Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And so to Iran's credit and in their defense, I wouldn't want foreign countries interfering in my economy.
Oh. Sorry.
Like
what does Tom run?
You can't teach that. That's Wada. He's back.
Get him. Anyways, carry on.
And I also find it's very hard to know what is going on in Iran right now. We can only assume the current Iranian regime is lying about certain numbers. They're like we have endless drones. I would also say I don't know if the United States is definitely lying or if we know the casualty numbers. I think with like service members, it'd be pretty clear, when basic service members are dying, like their families would be like, no, they actually did die. These are the numbers.
People will know.
However, for black ops, like for those guys in the initial stages, I don't know if we'd know.
Well, they just sent in They haven't even officially started using ground troops
Yes.
yet, though. But they have sent over
there
the
are
Marines.
casualties. Yeah,
Yes.
there are casualties because Iran is massively bombing these bases.
What are the numbers now?
I don't know, but they're hitting Israel as well. And the numbers by the time this airs will be out of date. So we hope that it doesn't turn into a ground troop war. Of course, from my knowledge of Iran, and we're going to see they're in the 1960s and 70s, they're going to get to the point where they have one of the top militaries in the world, U.S. backed and paid for.
I'm sorry, what decade is this?
The 60s and 70s.
The 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
they have one of the top militaries.
Yeah, I think they're ranked 5th in the world in the Olympics.
And how do they rank? It is the Olympics that could
And
make that
fire.
rating. It's like, well, I mean, it makes sense.
We have a war.
Yeah. The History of Rhymes podcast is brought to you by the Speakeasy Podcast Studio, where the speaking is easy and the bevies go down squeezy.
Like Gatorade.
Yeah, that's right. In our mugs.
Check out speakeasypodcast.ca.
It's at the bottom of the screen. Check it out.
Hey, before we get back into history, I want to take a moment on political analysis. You have to look for those little moments. This is where you have to have a keen eye when you're watching the news. I mean, if you're watching the 6 o'clock news, I'm just going to say you're being lied to from the 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then Entertainment Tonight comes on.
Except for the advertisements. Those are telling you the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
It's true.
Did you ever see
Dawn does lift grease.
Did you ever see one of the original
All right.
Coca-Cola ads that was like, it was from the 1920s, and it was just a poster, and it's like, do you want your baby to be popular when they're a teenager? Like, if you don't give Coca-Cola to your baby, and it's like studies show they won't be popular when they're 12, 13. So people are like, well, I don't want my son.
They said that?
Yeah, like, I don't want my son to be a loser.
Was like,
Drink up. Yeah.
Well, that's I didn't know that part. I thought you were going to say something about
it's
the anti-smoking campaigns or the smoking campaigns rather for doctors saying
I loved
doctors
growing
recommend
up when
X amount a day.
Growing up in the 90s when you would just be watching TV, like,
Yeah.
and so all these commercials would just come on. You'd be watching Maury Povich, you'd be watching Jerry Springer, you'd be watching Young and the Restless, whatever was on.
Yeah.
And then commercials would come on, and it'd be like these anti-smoking ads where it's just like this woman's like, I started smoking because I wanted to look older. And then she like smokes out of her stoma.
Her
She's like,
neck hole. Yeah.
And you're like, holy crap, they're cutting holes in people's necks now.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I started smoking because I wanted to look older. It worked. And then it's like, Tracy's 28 years old. and she looked 80.
Yeah.
And I'm like, geez, I'm never smoking again. Back to Jerry Springer, some wholesome stuff.
Yeah, I'll watch
So
that.
you have to look at the media. You have to like really pull it apart. I get tricked all the time. But here, I'm going to give you a lesson about how to tell what's going on subtly.
Mm-hmm.
So I try not to watch trash television, but sometimes it just feels good.
Sometimes more is
And
still
as
on.
you know, you and I are Judge Judy.
Yeah.
Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. But do you have reference on the top of your head?
He's on the Judge Judy algorithm. The clip game.
Why do you know that?
Yeah, Judge Judy. She did have.
She had some great one-liners. That
she
dame.
had some great one-liners. She was
a dame.
She
Now,
still is a great one-liner.
So we watched Love Is Blind, and then I was like, we could watch real TV, or we could escape deeper away from our crumbling world, and let's watch this Age of Attraction,
which is
super
favorite show.
which is super uncomfortable to watch.
I actually haven't seen past episode 1. So this couple. Are spoilers coming here?
Yeah. So these couples, they get together, and they're not allowed to tell each other their age until they like have this like promise ring they give each other, and it's a great moment.
An engagement ring?
Yeah. No, they're like we promise to leave. They're in Whistler, Canada, BC, and they're like
engagements mean nothing there.
Yeah. And, there's just Australians being like, "Oh, you gotta go down the hill or not, mate." And so they go like they put the ring on, and then they're like, she's like, "I'm 54," and he's like, "Pool."
Yeah.
I'm 27, and she's like,
You're talking about the awkward guy with the really old
it kinda
blonde
looks like
lady.
You.
Yeah,
You're way more handsome though.
Yeah, he looks like a Sedin.
He does,
might be
mixed
a
with like
Sedin.
Michael Fassbender mixed with Prince Harry. But anyways,
Yeah.
My favorite couple. Well, this is the moment was the Jorge, the defense attorney, who he's 60 years old, and he looks amazing. And the girl that he is connected with, she's 27.
Right.
And you're like, this is the end of culture.
Is this the girl who said, if I bring somebody home who's 10 years older,
yes.
my dad will
she
be
said
really
that,
mad.
and she goes, while they're exchanging rings,
That's my impersonation.
She goes, I just have to say, and like, you know, Jorge, like he's an absolute stud. Like
He's
this
a
guy's
stud.
This guy spent
What does he
45. He's a defense attorney.
Oh, right.
He spent 45 years just going to town, right? And just having a great time with the gals. And he's always like, if I have a connection.
that's what you're talking
He's like,
about.
if I have a connection,
defense attorney
if I have a connection, I'm just, you know. So she goes, I just want you to know, like, I've made a decision in the last 2 years to be celibate. And the look on his face is just, and she's like, are you okay with it? He's like, well, that's something we can talk about. That's something we and he's just like, I'll just have a conversation. You never have to like hold back when you're telling me something. She's like, I just told you that. How you feel about that? He's like, yeah, and I feel like we are going to be fine having a conversation about that.
I love
and he like lawyers his way around him.
Yeah.
Whatever, that's not the part. So all
what
the while,
does this have to do with Iran?
All the while.
Okay, great.
They're in Vancouver. Now, those of us who are from Vancouver have gotten used to how the horrific harm reduction policies, the safe supply nonsense that the BC NDP and federal liberals, and I don't even care right now. I don't even care. I'm saying it, right?
You're just throwing caution to the wind.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like,
let's talk downtown
like, can you
East
imagine
side.
flooding the streets with drugs is not the best idea.
Yeah.
So our city is decaying, right? As so many other cities are. And yet when you watch this show, you're like, oh my gosh, Vancouver is a paradise. Like there's not, and you're like, maybe even watching it, you're watching the propaganda and you're like, maybe our city isn't that bad. Maybe we haven't like done these horrifying things, these poor individuals where we're like, oh, you're addicted to drugs. Why don't we just keep that going? And then you could just stay on the streets forever.
Yeah.
And we'll give you like synthetic drugs that, you know, it's not like, you know, a guy's not just doing cocaine anymore, or heroin. We're doing fentanyl. And, you know, it's a zombie apocalypse and they're just wigging out all the time. Yeah. So this...
We'll put the term for the definition of wigging out at the bottom. Yeah.
It's also a dance move from the 70s.
Yeah.
From Iran, actually.
Yeah.
So...
I was going to ask where the tie into Iran is with this as well. We're getting there.
I mean, whatever. Happen. Why can't we have fun?
No, we're here.
This
is
how...
This is an Asian of Attraction podcast.
So I'm watching this show and the 60-year-old and the 27-year-old are collapsing as they're dating and it's just going terrible. And then this is the final thing where he goes... They're having a fight, an argument. She's like, I just didn't like how you reacted in that situation. So it cuts to him interviewing. He goes, and this is where you see Vancouver for what it really is. He's like, so we were walking along the street, and a guy approached us violently. He had an object. He was swinging at us. He was on drugs. Like, they're just walking down the street, right?
This is on the show?
Yeah, because they can't hide this. They couldn't hide it because it's the reason they break up. It's one of the reasons they break up. So the propaganda could not, but it's not like, once again, it's not the homeless thing. It's the fact that they're being fed synthetic drugs by the government.
And they break up because
the Canadian government
I just can't bear this. It's ruined our relationship.
The Canadian government is the #1 drug dealer in Canada.
Yeah.
This guy is high on Canadian drugs and government drugs. They have the Liberal logo on them. You can't say that.
It's just
I
a maple leaf. It's like, syrup.
Do you like maple syrup?
It's 100%
Do you
Canadian.
like fentanyl?
Try our maple fentanyl.
Dude, that's wild. You can't say that, but you could.
You can.
So
this podcast is brought to you by Maple Leaf Fentanyl.
No, that's wild. You wouldn't say that. Yeah. But so they can't hide that. And she didn't like, I guess Jorge, the man, the legend, this stud, gets up in this guy's face and is like, because he's a defense attorney, he's like, I deal with this.
And defense attorney means he knows, like,
well,
MMA,
he knows how to talk. And so I guess he was yelling, maybe he got
like
violent.
Self-defense attorney.
And she was all like, I just didn't like how you reacted. I'm like, you
to the guy?
Yeah. And I'm like, in my mind, I want to walk with Jorge down the street all the time.
Yeah.
You find yourself a man who will protect you and will also like this person needs help. And,
are you telling
Jorge,
like me to do that?
Yeah. Right. I want you to walk me. So all I'm saying is,
if I could give you any advice from this podcast,
and this is 20 minutes to teach you how to watch the news through Age of Attraction. You have to look for those where they say the quiet part out loud. Right. Where it's like they're painting Vancouver as this paradise, and Canadians are like, it is a paradise. It's so great. It hasn't changed at all. And yet it's decaying, and we actually could stop it, but we won't. And here all of a sudden this poor reality TV show is like, we couldn't even like stop the decay from actually getting onto the TV show. Yeah. All right.
Where did they go for dinner before that? You know?
I don't.
Must have been nice.
Probably the old spaghetti factory. Guess now.
Yeah.
That's also one of our
Great
sponsors. Old Spaghetti Factory. Eat it if you want diarrhea.
Try the 4 cheese tortellini.
Or have you tried the gabagool? Now,
make sure you get the ice cream at the end.
So Mohammad Reza Shah.
Yeah.
He launches top-down reforms in the 1960s. He calls it the White Revolution.
Okay.
Okay? Nothing to do with race.
No, of course.
He does women's suffrage. They can vote. People are reading. It's modernizing. Everything's good. There's fashion. If you were to look at Iran in the 60s and 70s, you'd be like, this place is nice. Dan, let's take a look.
It's like downtown LA.
Let's take a look.
Oh, you've got
it looks nicer than Vancouver now. If we just go, we don't need any audio, but just life under the Shah in the 70s after the White Revolution. So you have cars, you got smoking.
Yep.
The heirs of Cyrus the Great. Look at this. Look at this.
Whoa. Very nice
dude,
architecture.
It's so nice. Short skirts, long legs on the guys. Look at that.
I can hear it right
Just
now.
having a good time.
So
all of this, look at that. You got a club.
That is amazing.
Disco.
Yep.
What the?
They got ABBA playing. What is this, Las Vegas Strip?
Dude, this is
amazing.
Nice. So you got American money flooding in.
They got people with those flippy signs in the crowd.
Okay. Women's soccer. Yeah, that's not happening
That's
now.
impressive. Little flag change.
Let's go.
Wow.
Dude, this looks nice.
Oh, man, this is classic America right now.
This looks nice.
Water skiing, just that
okay,
Western
this
culture.
is a PG.
Oh, man, this is...
So they actually... Okay, so go to... Yeah, you can move on. So so none of this is legal now, right?
So how did that transition happen?
Let's talk about
like, how do you get rid of an afro like that?
They're showing a lot of the short skirts. I'm getting uncomfortable. Dan, you can go to the next
That guy's riding a motorcycle with no hands. That is freedom, baby.
You once again,
that is freedom.
You have that happening on the one hand, where it's like wealth and all that kind of stuff, but people are aware, and the ulama are aware that this is coming from American foreign influence. This is the enemy of Islam. This is not good. That was seen as decadent. That was seen as materialistic. It's capitalistic. It's not good. And all the while, the Shah is reaping a ton of money. He's making a lot of money. He's using his secret police to keep any dissidents down. So that's why it looks like that, because it's got American culture, American money flowing in, American investment, but it's also it's a police state that's being controlled. Now, we're not going to really talk about Israel much, because like Iran is going to have a relationship with Israel, but that's going to develop a little bit later. But there's a one-party system, you have to understand. Like it's a democracy, but there's one-party system. There is censorship, and then Savak is arresting people. But their military is very powerful, and things are going well. So now let's get to the opposition.
All right. And sorry,
any questions about that?
A free state. People are still going to the disco club. They're still having a good time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But all the while, Khomeini, if we want to take, I think Khomeini's up next year.
They're making their plan to get rid of all of this fun times.
There's Ayatollah Khomeini.
Yeah.
Him and the other clerics are like, the Shah they called it like West toxication. Like he's obsessed with the West. The Shah, they hated him for his ties to the U.S., to Israel even. And they saw him as this decadent ruler who was allowing, like you have to understand, like the women in the short skirts there, the bikini clad women, that is so against Sharia law. It's crazy, right?
And he is hating it right now.
He is, and so he's a passionate teacher, like I mentioned in our Alexander one. Like he's a passionate teacher. He's slowly cultivating these large groups of students who are starting to believe in his cause.
What is the allure of his teachings? It's like it's got these students hooked that they really feel strongly about it.
I don't know. Maybe
don't you think they'd like to go to the beach after class?
Yeah, but I think there's an element of nostalgia. There is deep economic inequality going on. So that was kind of a propaganda video we're watching there. But
probably
I think a lot of people are kind of
pretty sure that was Utah.
I don't think that was the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yeah, that was just an old clip of that show. They threw a grain on it. Anyways.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the Iranian Revolution in 1979 is one of the most unique revolutions because it's a conservative revolution.
Right.
So it is a bunch of old clerics overthrowing a relatively progressive Shah. but like, a westernized, free-loving Shah to bring things back to medieval Sharia law.
Yes. I see.
And so throughout the 70s, the Shah he does start spending a lot of money. I think Nicolas Cage bought his car for like $500,000 after. like it was like, I mean, I remember reading about that, like, that Nicolas Cage was like, I need to, like, he bought the former Shah of Iran's car. If you can look that up, Dan, maybe you can see it.
Why would he want that car? What's so
because
special about it?
I don't know.
Is it
but
a Rolls Royce?
The Shah was spending money on a lot of stuff. And so people are also starting to realize that the Shah is influenced by Israel and the U.S.
Hang on. Yeah, he bought his 1971 Lamborghini Miata.
Oh, a Lambo.
That's previously owned by the Shah. I
This guy-
purchased it for $450,000 to $500,000, which
I think
was
I
a
read
record
that
high
in-
price for the Lamborghini at the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I read that in an article maybe like 15, 20 years ago when didn't Nicolas Cage go bankrupt?
Yeah.
And because he bought like a Tyrannosaurus Rex fossil
Everything.
head, and then he had this, and
Everything.
people are like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going to be Superman.
Well, apparently, actually buying fossils these days is a great investment. There's a huge market for
That's
that,
true.
and the value is they go up. It's a big deal right
Well,
now.
and if you grind them up, they turn into oil.
That and Pokemon cards, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me
I
started.
know
on
you're a
Pokemon
big
cards.
Pokemon
Don't.
fan.
Well, I don't want to get into it because I had an amazing collection, and then my sister gave it all away to her students.
I don't know where my Pokemon card collection
Yours was
went
nothing
either. I
compared
think
to
I
mine.
sold it to Nicolas Cage.
He's like, Jono.
He saw the ad on your door,
Yeah.
So-
I had a Nidoking on the door. Yeah.
your bedroom door.
Yeah.
So
somebody will walk by. I think I'll take your Nidoking. Do you have more?
Can I tuck you in?
Just really get you in there. Yeah.
Shh, I'm Nicolas Cage.
Don't worry, I sent your parents out for pizza.
I'm your babysitter. So yeah, okay. So anyway, so stuff is starting to boil in the 1970s. The
Yeah.
Shah, he starts to become more oppressive in the 70s, where he's like using Savak to arrest more people. There's more people who are just hearkening for a simpler time when you could just be Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
So massive protests start, and Iran has a history of protests. So huge protests
Clearly,
go
yeah.
out. He's been exiled, so he's exiled by the Shah. He's
Whereabouts?
He's in Paris,
Oh.
living the good life.
Sounds
And
nice.
and these huge strikes against the cost of living and against the Shah and against American influence. By this point, people just hate America, like they're just done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they overthrow the Shah, and he comes back, and they make him into the Grand Supreme Leader.
Ah.
So that's the end of the Shah, and by 1979, the Islamic Revolution is complete. It doesn't, it's not great. It led to more inequality, and their economy tanked because they lost all U.S. influence. If you go to the next slide, Dan.
So some of that influence was handy for the economy.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. So in 1979, this happened. And this is going to be,
Yep.
we talked about this during our Alexander one, that the Shah, he wanted to go to the United States for cancer treatment. And this just ticked the Iranians off so much. So these are students. These are young people. That's their
They were
climbing.
mad that he was getting a really swanky cancer treatment.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, we know that's expensive. It's not free.
Yeah. Yeah.
So his taxpayer dollars are going to his
Yeah.
cancer treatment.
Well, not Iranian taxpayer. Yeah, okay.
Tom.
So yeah, you're right. So so
Well,
we
sorry,
talked-
they
we-
are
we-
actually mad that he's going to get cancer
Oh yeah,
treatment.
yeah. I mean, they're just looking for an excuse. So we talked about this last time, or with the Alexander one. But so yeah, they storm the American embassy. They take a bunch of people hostage.
Yeah.
6 of the embassy employees escaped to the Canadian embassy, where the ambassador works with the CIA. The CIA actually does
Safest
something
place
good.
on earth.
And Ben Affleck, he rescues them and he brings them back
Yep.
through the movie thing. But Ben Affleck's character is not real.
Yep.
But
But his
so
haircut's great.
They hold these hostages, 60 hostages, for what was like 400 days until Jimmy Carter loses the election and Reagan comes in.
Mm-hmm.
But this breaks ties with the U.S. So they still do not have diplomatic ties. Trump was able to even say, like, I don't need to declare war. We've been in a state of war since 1979, right? And because there's no...
Is that true?
Yeah, there's no diplomatic relation. There's no
That's why they're just
there.
like, yeah, let's hit Iran today now.
This here cuts Iran off from the world.
Does that mean that Trump... Like, because they're saying that impeachment's coming again because of this, another impeachment. Is he technically safe from that then?
No.
Because there has been no. Is he in as much trouble with like going to war with Iran if they've already technically been in a state of war this whole time? So none of this actually matters.
He is in trouble, yes.
Okay, he is in trouble?
No, he is, because Congress, as part of the Constitution, has the right to declare war, and he did not go through Congress. And this is an extremely unpopular war as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's one of the most unpopular isn't it?
And it's splitting the MAGA movement because he was elected primarily on no more foreign wars.
Right.
And America is consistently caught up in the forever war system to feed their military-industrial complex.
Gotta feed the beast.
And both the war hawks on the Democratic and the Republican side have been wanting this war for a very long time. They hate this regime.
You say on the Democratic side?
Oh, yeah, like Chuck Schumer and those guys, they've wanted
They're all
this war
for it.
forever. I mean, it's a win-win for the Democrats because if this if this war goes really well, then they get rid of Iran. If it goes poorly, they get to use it as a weapon against Trump.
Right.
Right?
So it's all good to them.
Yeah.
So anyways, 70s.
So this is 79 to 81.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we don't have to get into the details too much, but like this is where they break protocol, seize the embassy, and now, this is kind of the culmination of all this foreign influence where the Iranians are saying, enough, get out. So now they're alone. I think I have, if you go to the next slide, I want to pause and look at, there it is. So this is in 1979, they do a new constitution, and they establish an Islamic republic. And so this is a theocracy. Mm-hmm. It's one of the only theocracies in the world. So it's a religious government. Mm-hmm. And so there on the top left is the Ayatollah Khomeini. Khomeini dies, I think, in like.
Where does
89.
the word Ayatollah come from?
He is the head imam. I don't know where the actual word comes from, but he's like the head of the 12er Shi'ism.
I see.
So this is where we run into some problems because this is a very complex government. Trump and and Netanyahu keep bragging about all these leaders they're killing. I think I mentioned this last time. It's like if you killed, Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, or if you killed Donald Trump, there's a vice president.
That's fine.
There's other, but here it's like there is a president elected by voters every 4 years. It's a rigged election. There's people attacking you if you vote for the wrong person.
Yeah. But
he selects a cabinet. There's 22 members of the cabinet. Then there's a parliament of 290 members. Okay? There's voters. Then you have, so they're kind of running the day-to-day. Then you have the supreme leader. He's like essentially the new Shah. Like he's the king of kings, but he's not. He's a cleric. He's a priest.
Right.
And he's, so it almost is still a constitutional monarchy, but he is, he's got his council. He's got the Revolutionary Guard now to replace Savak. Yeah. So that the Revolutionary Guard is like their elite kind of secret police. But look, there's the 86 members, the Assembly of Experts, and of course they're the guys who they were gathering to elect.
Assembly of Experts.
So they're the guys who get the they select the next supreme leader, but
the public elects them. Approved candidates elected by the public every 8 years.
Yeah, but it's
not true.
Sure, elected.
Yeah.
Not like here in Canada,
kind of gets a little
where our elections are pure.
Yeah, absolute. Just by the book.
Yeah, and so this is
this does seem rather complicated when you see arrows going in that many directions. This guy reports to this guy. This guy reports to this guy. But maybe is this why it's so hard to actually infiltrate this and actually, reset it as
I
they're
think
trying
so.
to do.
I
Kind of a
think
bit of
so.
a Hydra situation. Somebody is in power
Yeah.
here. This person gets taken out.
One
this
head,
person's-
2 more shall take its place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And so when you did your regime change with Saddam Hussein, which worked extremely well, flawless, you could kill him and the whole thing collapsed.
Yeah.
And the United States actually could have, like, George Bush screwed everything up there after they killed Saddam, and they were in a position where if they had used the former members of Saddam's party, the Ba'ath Party, who were not like, radicals, they just were bureaucrats, if they had used them as part of the bureaucracy, they could have actually done something. Instead, they kicked them out, and those guys radicalized and joined Al-Qaeda. So I don't know. I don't know the plan to take out all of this. I mean, I guess you could just take out all of the Supreme Leader, Expediency Council, Assembly of Experts, Guardian Council, and just have a president, cabinet, parliament, like every other government in the world, every other republic. But I don't know how you do this without troops on the ground. And remember, there's 90 million people. Like, what is?
Well, that's
Dan,
kinda
could you look up their standing army numbers? Like, they're actual like infantry foot soldiers.
That's kind of the big discussion right now is there's really no way to do this from an aerial war. You can't just like dethrone people without actually having some kind of on the ground influence. You can't just drop stuff.
And once again, we have to go, why? And I think part of the why goes back to this U.S. embassy crisis, whether they know it or not. Like,
Actually,
I think there was never an apology. I think it was a huge embarrassment to Americans that, like, their embassy outpost, that's like their fortress, right? Like, it's their flag. It's like you don't go after, that's
Don't do
American
that.
soil. And so it was so Americans have hated Iran since then.
well,
And there's this
that
kind
fence really wasn't that high. I'm gonna be honest.
well,
with you.
it's not meant
But
to
it
be.
was sharp, very pointy.
Well, but they were in their top ally in the Middle East. That was what Iran was, other than
Right.
Israel.
So this was a shock.
It was a total shock.
It was not cool.
All right,
And
no one
so
saw it
I
coming.
got the numbers. You got 610,000 active duty personnel,
Gee.
reserve personnel of 350,000. Then there's an IRGC strength
That's
of
the
100
Revolutionary Guard.
Yeah, of 190,000 active members controlling missile programs and regional operations. Missiles and drones, 2,500 to 3,000 estimated. Ground forces, 1,500 main battle tanks.
Yeah.
Naval forces,
you
100
haven't
fast
really-
attack craft and
So
submarines.
you got almost 1 million men.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about because when it comes to hardware, like that's a different, like, I think the United States can take on any country's hardware other than maybe China. Well, China. But wait, so you're talking about 1 million men, and people don't understand. So there's an element of this being like a just or even holy war, dare I say? Like,
To the
in
US.
in my conversations with people who are really pumped about this war, they're like, well, it's an evil regime. And it's like, yes. It's like, was killing thousands of his people. Okay. Do we know how many it was killing? I know it was it's an evil regime. I personally have hated this regime for a long time.
Aren't most people getting that perspective from the most recent stuff that was pretty
right,
clear?
but
Where
if CIA was involved in that and there's false flag operations going on there,
yeah,
and if Mossad's involved in that as well, then
But
okay,
isn't
so
that-
were they provoking the police? I don't know.
it's hard to prove
I-
that.
I
Though.
don't
so
know.
obviously the public's looking at that as people died, regardless of
Yeah.
whether or not the CIA is provoking it and orchestrating it. But people were getting.
But I don't know if Trump has said, like, we're going in to like
Unalive.
help, like we're gonna go help these people.
Well, certainly that narrative shifted a lot since he started this campaign. But
and that's a terrible way to start a war, to not actually have an end date. Didn't like Pete Hegseth
6 weeks. He said 5 to 6 weeks.
No, but an end goal. Sorry.
Right.
Didn't Pete Hegseth say, like, this is like a war of God, or no, we're gonna bring about the return of the Messiah or something or whatever? Like,
Didn't hear that one.
there's a lot
It's
of
quite the,
religious language being used, and for a guy who was elected on saying no more foreign wars,
Yeah.
I think he thought that this would be like Venezuela, and you could just
I think a lot of people did.
which is crazy. Venezuela is, for better or worse, it is a more westernized country. It has Catholic roots. It's not. It's very close by.
But that was a boots on the ground operation
It
and
was.
a bunch of new technology.
Yes.
I'm actually surprised we haven't heard anything yet from that kind of camp.
Well, because the second in command was making deals with Trump. So like he was just like, yep, whatever you want, it's
Right.
yours. And that's not going to happen here. There's never going to be a second in command. You can't kill enough guys to make a deal with someone. So you are going to have to do boots on the ground. And let me tell you why. And I just wish, like, I don't know, Trump would have been alive for this war. But if we go to our next slide there, Dan. So Saddam Hussein, who came to power, he is a secular ruler of Iraq. There he is. But look at him there. He's pumped. He's just having a good time. He's like, Club Collage. And so Saddam Hussein, I'm pretty sure he was helped into his position through a coup d'etat in 1968 by the CIA. they're like, this guy's good.
See, the CIA's helpful.
Yeah, they're helpful. They get Saddam Hussein into power.
Yeah.
Now he sees this. So he rules Iraq. Iraq does have a large Sunni population. They have a large Kurdish population, and they have a large Shia population. He is Sunni, and he has a powerful Sunni minority. So the fact that a Shia Islamic Republic has just formed beside his larger neighbor is very dangerous to him.
Yeah.
So he immediately goes to war with them in 1980.
Oh.
And this is the Iran-Iraq war.
Right.
Now, Iraq has the better military capability. They have way more tanks and all, like, aircraft, everything.
Are they okay? So the Iranian government, are they buying a lot of this, or because they build a lot of their own rockets and obviously they have their own nuclear program, but like a lot of the military equipment though they're obtaining it from like the U.S. and Russia, or it has been obtained.
Iran currently?
Well, like during this time.
Oh, during this time, this would have been left over from American equipment.
Right. So it was American equipment left there that they ended up taking over.
Yeah, but it would have been older. Whereas
which is why they're still flying like old Vietnam jets, like the F-4. They also have Tomcats, which is very.
Oh, are you saying currently they are?
Yeah. Well, they still have F-4s and they still have F-14s.
So that would be like Iran's military technology would not be very advanced, but dude,
they got a lot of it.
Well, and drones. Drones are the level.
Well, that's the thing.
Like, can a drone take out a tank? Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
That's what we're seeing in the Russian-Ukraine war.
Well, those are just like
Shane
FPVs.
Shane Gillis.
Oh, our favorite.
We're going to tag him in this Shaney boy, the big dog.
Shane.
He said he's made this joke how, like, literally the Russian-Ukraine war is going to be sponsored by Best Buy. Like, both, it's just going to be funded by, both are just going to be, like, launching, I don't know how much drones cost, $600, $200? Like, just attach a bomb to it, and you can just fly it with your iPad right into a car.
Pretty crazy.
So, like, okay, so the Americans, you know, they're launching their $32 million missiles. Can a drone intercept that? And a $200 drone? No, what? Okay, but
not yet.
But the Iranians are launching drone strikes. That's how they are launching.
I saw that they also did recently do the first FPV drone attack on an American base. They released the footage of it. Was it a good hit? I wouldn't say so. They seemed to. I saw in the comment section of the clip. It was like, oh no, they hit the mess tent, and just the kitchen.
Yeah,
it was just like a wall.
Like pork and beans.
Yeah, it flies around for like probably 10 minutes, and then it just like seems to decide. All right, right there.
I guess. I mean,
it's a different battlefield.
I could also see Trump just getting bored of this. Like, I think he could also just be like, "We did it." Like, you know, because they killed Khamenei, so he's going to take charge in the early 90s, and they killed him, and he was oppressive and everything. But then his son's now him. So Saddam is going to invade Iran.
Yeah,
and this is why you need to understand how the Iranian regime works, because it becomes almost a World War I style battle. See the trenches being dug on the top left there?
See that.
And the artillery there. And so he gets bogged down. This is an 8-year-long war because Iran has such a large population, and they are not going to give up. They'll use their people as fodder. So this is what they had. They had martyrs, and they had these children called children of heaven. And there'd be these huge minefields, and before the army would cross to attack an Iraqi position, the Iranian regime would send in the children of heaven. They were given two things. Okay, these are kids, orphans. They were given a blanket and a key. And the blanket was they would wrap around them. The blanket would keep their body parts together for whatever family they had could come and collect it afterwards.
Oh, my goodness.
And the key was the key to heaven.
Right.
And they said, "You're martyrs today, you'll be in heaven." So they would send these children over the minefields to blow the mines up so that the Iranian...
Just like walking out randomly to,
I mean, they could probably maybe see, I don't know.
Right.
But then they would send them in like a line.
Tell them if you see something, step on.
Yeah, and the kids believed, right? They're like, the moment they're like, this is a path all the way straight to heaven.
Goodness.
So then the Iranian army could go. Now, you actually can't win a war against someone like that.
No.
You can't.
It's a different level of commitment.
Had you heard that before?
I'd never heard of that, no.
So I'd be willing to bet the vast majority of Americans have not heard that story. Now, that's 1980s. Now, Iran's
different
changed.
Time.
Maybe they're more frustrated with their regime, fine. But once again, they're not going to be so frustrated with their regime that they're like, yay, America and Israel.
Yeah.
The two countries we hate the most. Let's welcome them. And, of course, there are plenty of Iranians, we've seen the video, who were cheering when Khamenei died.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. You can hate your leader and another country at the same time, right?
Are you talking about the current celebrations
I'm talking about
happened?
the current celebrations.
But there's a lot of pro-America, thank you, Donald Trump going on in there, especially from those living, in the West.
So it's pretty hard to tell what size of people that is.
Yes, of course.
Is it just people in Tehran? Is it just young people? Is it women? Is it we don't know. I was hearing from someone that we can roughly guess that about 30% of the country are firmly in support of the Iranian regime. Right? And they're just the hardliners. They're the conservatives. They're just like the ones who want to keep that. So, okay, so there's a ceasefire in 1988 because Saddam, they basically just, and it breaks his military. Like, by the time Desert Storm rolls around, like they are able to beat him in 100 hours?
Yeah.
The Americans do that. And I think Desert Storm's an interesting war because it gave the United States, it launched the United States into this ability, like, we can do things really quickly and we can win wars in days, and we can topple governments in days, or we can at least do something. So Desert Storm is almost in my mind, one of the worst things that happened, because it was like it
validated them.
Yeah, or it went like, we could do so. Like when George W. Bush goes to finish his daddy's job, he's like, well, we can do this quickly. And throughout the 21st century, the Americans have been like, well, we can just do this quickly, whether it's and they get bogged down in forever wars.
Right. Well, do you think that Venezuela was kind of that to Trump to a degree?
I mean,
that was one day, one night.
Yeah.
I think that was between lunch and dinner.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. And I think that's
you have to think that might be coming, though. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, if we go back to the who do you do it to? The Khamenei, like his son?
Do you do who are these experts that we're talking about? The Jedi Council.
Yeah, you do it to them. Yeah, well, I mean, they did that, right? Like, they hit them when they were electing. Remember, like, right when they were trying to select the new Ayatollah, Israel bombed the meeting place.
Yeah.
And Babylon Bee did, like, the joke about, like, Ayatollah or the ulama wished that they met by Zoom. And
yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. Hey, we can take them in this.
We could,
we could say Babylon Bee is awesome. So, throughout the 1980s and 90s, these guys, the Ayatollahs, they're going to consolidate power. And
this does seem like a very, you're saying what a mess it is.
Not a mess. It's just
it's just complicated. But this seems like a very well set up system to preserve the system from adversaries, foreign adversaries. Because who do you hit?
And progression,
who do you replace?
It's not meant to change.
Right.
So it's not meant to evolve or change.
But it's very decentralized, seemingly. What does the supreme leader exactly do?
I mean,
then?
he can do anything, right? So he is the, if you want to say, dictator, I think, but it's more of an oligarchy, right? It's a religious oligarchy. So the president is going to run the day-to-day stuff, the boring stuff, right?
Right.
But the supreme leader is in charge of kind of whatever he wants to be in charge of, right?
Right.
Like, he is the monarch. He is the Shah.
Right.
But he's not. He's a religious guy. So what Iran is going to, and this is where Iran's going to really tick people off in the 90s and 2000s, is they're going to become, for lack of a better term, like the big state sponsor of terror. As we head into the war of terror. So Iran, there's the 3 H's that they support, right? Hezbollah in Lebanon. And Iran supports them and throughout the Lebanese civil war and all that kind of stuff. And they, of course, in Gaza and the West Bank, they support Hamas. And then in Yemen, they support the Houthis. So that's where we have to get into this, like, because they're state sponsors of these big groups who are actively working against Israel and Western interests, and it's like, okay, so is that what this war is about? To sort of, you talked about Hydra earlier, like to cut off the root, right? The way to kill Hydra is to slice off the heads and then you have to cauterize it. And that's what Hercules did.
Yeah.
He was very smart. People don't give him enough credit. He was very smart.
He went from 0 to hero.
Fire. I will find my way.
Well, that's what made
Doesn't
him.
he smash the mountain in that?
Well,
Disney
that's
version?
okay. So that's the Disney movie. I'm
No,
talking about.
You just
the
start singing the
actual
song.
myth.
Yeah, well, I was mixing.
okay.
mythology.
Well, that
Let's-
helps
let's,
everybody get it, the musical.
Hey,
So
we're all here to
Hercules
learn.
Zero.
cauterizes the.
So is that what Trump is? The modern day Hercules.
Yeah, he really
He's
is.
like, well, I do drink a lot of Diet Coke. So
Yeah, he is a child of the Diet Coke or the Coca-Cola era.
I thought you were about to say he's a child of God. To be like, well, he is a
He is
child
a
of
child
God.
of God.
And he is. May he reign forever.
4 more years. Anyways,
I can never die. So is that just and like once again, what I'm trying to approach this war with is a bit of nuance. And I, like you and I both, we all grew up in the forever wars of the Middle East. Where like when I was a kid,
I'm just used to it.
when I was a kid and we heard about 9/11, we were furious and angry, and we're like, go get him into Afghanistan. And then they're like, we're going into Iraq as well, and you're like, yeah. And then you're like, why? And then they're like, well, Saddam's really bad. I'm like, Hitler, he's got a mustache, get him.
Yeah.
And then and we did. It
Mustache has got a bad rap.
yeah, don't. If you're a dictator, don't have a mustache. Yeah, just
I
don't.
had one a few episodes ago, but that's okay. I'm
was
just a
Hannibal, wasn't
podcast guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
soon to be
soon.
dictator.
Yeah, that too. Which is why I got rid of the mustache.
Yeah.
I'm learning from my history. Like, he seems all right.
This is not going to repeat itself.
Don't do the
Oh my
mustache.
goodness.
Yeah. So, sorry. Yeah, don't go into Iraq. Or we went into Iraq, but
No,
we're
I'm
like,
just
why?
saying,
That is a really great point, because I even remember, not that I was the most, I guess, on top of political trends at the time. What
We
were
were
we in
14.
grade 9? Well, we were in grade 8.
14.
So, yeah, I remember driving to school, hearing the radio and that being announced. And then we went to, we didn't. They went to Iraq, and it was like, oh. Okay, I remember thinking like that's a little bit. Isn't it different? What happened? Why are we
Yeah.
doing? Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
So, anyways,
I
we're
remember
kind of
having
in
a
that
conversation
position
with
again.
I remember having a conversation with my socials 9 teacher, and I was like, okay, so like this is like he's bad, and so we got to take him out. And he was like, fair enough. And I mean, like, you know, the United States did do a good job rebuilding Japan, Germany, and Italy after World War II, so maybe they can do it in Iraq. And you know, he probably should have said Iraq's a very different place than Germany, Italy, and Japan.
Mhm.
And I think that's what they were missing. And I do think there was a possibility of doing that, but George Bush changed the game. He also I can't remember his name, but he put a guy in to run the whole thing, and he was an absolute moron. But he went from like, we're trying to overthrow Saddam and the axis of evil to we're trying to bring democracy to Iraq. And that's what I mean when I say if you don't have clear goals for your war, like what is the goal with this war? Is it to get oil? Is it to distract from the Epstein files? Is it to bring democracy to Iran? Is it
See, I already forgot about the Epstein files.
Well, it's coming back, man. I mean, I think that's part of it. I think it has to be with the timing of it. Because, I think the elites are very nervous about it, and people are not letting it go. It's been over 10 years of people fighting to get these files out. And I think there is stuff you can dig through, and people are finding things in the 3 million files that were released. And so I think that they're like, hey, look over here. And this is a big deal. But I'm like, are they actually committed to this? Because if they're going to do something, like if they're actually going to do a full regime change war, aren't they going to have to put boots on the ground? And they have, 1 million guys? Right? They're better equipped.
I don't think most people in the West, I just keep using the term the West, realize how big that actually is of a force. You know, it's
huge. And
I didn't even know that they had that many guys. And so I knew that they had a navy and everything like that, but it's not nowhere near as well equipped as the U.S. But
and then it's like you have to go down like these dark paths of like, okay, is it more to like you don't go into these people thought they invaded Iraq to get oil.
Mm-hmm.
You don't invade a country to get oil. It's much cheaper just to buy the oil.
Yeah.
It cost $1 billion a day.
Well,
$1 billion a day to fight the war in Iraq. $1 billion a day.
Iraq or Iran?
Iraq.
Oh, okay.
You what you do is, and you get oil and people get access to it and stuff. What happened to our oil prices? Our oil prices in Canada have just skyrocketed.
Yeah, they went up about 40 cents.
Right? It limits the supply. War limits the supply of oil.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps the oil companies because now, because oil is an inelastic good. So the demand stays the same regardless of price.
But this is what I'd heard actually, that the U.S. has been preparing for this for a while, and actually they don't really buy much of their oil from Iraq. It's more, China is the main buyer of it. I believe Russia and other places within Europe. But it's the U.S. is actually relatively from an oil supply standpoint, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, Dan. I don't know if you want to look it up, but I think that the majority of their oil now they've shifted it to basically none of it comes from Iran. They've been ready for this for a while.
But so that's what I mean. So like you're going to the American oil companies.
It's most of it's oil from Canada.
Right,
52 to 62%.
Yeah, but it's all basically
Mexico's the
within
second
North
largest,
America. Yeah,
but of course here
Saudi,
in Canada,
Venezuela, and Colombia,
and it's 100% now, isn't it, or at least 95% of it?
I don't know. That's probably not updated.
It used to be a lot more from Iran, but in the past few years,
what I'm saying is,
if
you can cut out Iranian oil supply, so now those countries or whatever, just the general market. Now all those prices go up because the supply has gone down.
And a
so
lot
now
of things
American
are made from
oil or Canadian oil or whatever, the price of it goes up, and that's really good for oil companies.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is you're actually
it certainly helps.
You're cutting off 20% of the world's oil supply.
Right.
Well, that's really good for if you have the oil.
It's good for business. But it's also there's a lot of theorizing going around that, well, number one, the big thing is like the nuclear or what is it called? Refinement or all that stuff. So like that's a big deal.
Yep.
Which is the big kind of claim that that's what they're trying to take care of and make sure that this never happens again.
Yep.
But also it's putting pressure, or the economic pressure is falling on, contending nations.
But Iran had offered them everything. Iran, before, they had offered to like backtrack their program, everything like that.
Oh, so
and
they
the
were
United
being
States
pretty
just
compliant.
Yeah. And also in July, like the United States hit all their main facilities and knocked their program back years. I also go like,
right.
I don't know, like how come Pakistan's allowed to have a nuke? How come India's allowed to have a nuke? How come Israel's allowed to have a nuke? How come France is allowed to have a nuke? The French, really?
I mean, it's nice to have
the guys
one or
who
two.
ruined everything. So
Haven't been awesome since Napoleon.
no, we
Was
came up with the Enlightenment. The
what were
Enlightenment
the-
sucked. Voltaire was an idiot. So was Diderot. So was Rousseau. No, it was the French's fault for World War I. It's the French's fault for Treaty of Versailles. The
And
French.
World War II.
And that's why they're allowed a nuke. It's
Right.
just like, you've had a bad run,
if
have
you're-
a nuke.
If you're French, just chill out.
It's probably one they got from the U.S. and it doesn't work.
But
it's expired.
I'm not saying.
Did you see all the memes when the Did you see all the memes coming out after a U.S. attacked Iran? It's like France surrenders, gives unconditional surrender in Iran attack.
That's terrible.
It's pretty mean.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're friends.
They're pretty
Yeah.
good at surrendering.
Yeah.
They're breaking their ankles running away as fast as they can. So I don't know. So like I think maybe let's end with this, Dan, if you can go to the next picture. So it's gonna have to be the Iranian people who actually overthrow their government. And one of the things that all these Middle Eastern countries, these dictatorships are doing is they buy off their people. So Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, they buy off their people because they have such vast oil supplies. They'll be like, okay, you want free healthcare? Free healthcare. You want free education? You want free education.
Here's a barrel of oil for you.
Yeah. Here's oil money. Here's oil money.
Yeah.
Eventually, these people, especially, and this is what we saw during the Arab Spring, are going to say enough's enough. We want vote. So this is the Green Revolution in 2009, and there's banners. Those banners say, "Where is my vote?"
Mm-hmm.
They were alleging fraud in the 2009 presidential election, which of course there was.
Yep.
So look
Who'da
at this.
thunk
Look
it?
at the streets. That's Tehran there, and they're begging for change. And I remember when this was happening. This is kind of right at the beginning of the Arab Spring. This is not part of the Arab Spring because they're not Arab, but there was all these revolutions or these protests across the Middle East asking for democratic aims. So I think if I am the Americans, this is your only hope, and this is actually what you need to be fomenting, and maybe that's what they're planning. I think a ground war would be disastrous. I think the more you're bombing indiscriminately and hitting civilians, the more people are going to be like, you know what? The devil you know is better than what's how the saying goes? Like the devil you know or whatever. So it's like we'll take Ayatollah Khamenei over Donald Trump because he keeps hitting us with drone strikes. You need the people, and this is how democracy works. You need people to rise up and take control themselves. It has to be organic. It might have to be violent, because the tree of liberty has to be watered from time to time with the blood of tyrants and patriots. There it is, Thomas Jefferson.
There we go.
That took me a while to figure out, but we
Better
got
than
there.
the devil you know one.
Yeah, that one.
That one fell
floundered.
flat.
I floundered, much like Ariel's good friend,
The
Flounder.
fish. Yeah. Oh, flounder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they need. They need a flounder. Okay, let's talk
I'm
about this.
suspicious, though, of
Do
this
you
whole
think
thing.
in this day and age that kind of uprising is even possible?
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
I wonder. I do. Like
Totally.
it seems like because Trump did kind of give them that speech, right? He had that speech to them. He said, take back your country." And is this because we've kind of got a little bit of a limited amount of information coming out there that maybe this can be happening? I'm imagining this is going to be a little bit of a snail's pace to get stuff rolling, if that's ever going to happen. And maybe this is a sustaining thing to like let the people organize themselves for that takeover. But who knows?
I don't know, and that's where I'm like, if I'm the Americans, I might be doing a military bombing campaign, and then I'm heavily arming insurrectionists and like fomenting rebellion.
Well, that's the thing is like how if these are just everyday people, they're not armed yet. You kind of have to enable them to do that. They can't just go World War Z zombies on them and just run them over.
I mean, look, what you need.
I'm talking about the people doing that to the government and not. Yeah.
What you need, and you're screwed as a dictator or a king or something when you send your army to go and attack these people, and the army joins them. So that happens in the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution. Like, it's just a classic thing where it's like, they're like, you'll never be one of them. No, but they join. And so, like, really, it has
one of those moments.
It has to get
it
so
all
bad.
comes back to the sound of music.
The sound of music.
Yeah.
No, but it's like, if they're having this, if they're the people, right? Like, if they rise up and they know the soldiers and they know the cops, like they're family friends with them. Like this is history. Like what is it? Revolution always ends up in aristocracy, and aristocracy always ends up in revolution. And it's just this cycle going on and on and on. So it's like, you know, the Islamic regime is just another Shah with another form of nobles and aristocracy and power. And just like, you know, the communist dictatorship in they overthrow the Tsar in the Russian Revolution, and then Stalin just is a communist Tsar. Right. And so even, dare I say, the Americans, they fought to get rid of a king, and now they kind of just have an elected king. Right. And is it, the two parties are so similar and controlled by such similar interest groups that is it really that different? Like the fact that Trump is doing this war is maddening to people who are truly MAGA. Like it's maddening to think that he's now become a neocon. Like these are the guys that he's called out George W. He's called out Dick Cheney, right? Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney's daughter, wasn't she like, she endorsed Kamala, right? And so all of a sudden the Democrats were the war hawk party, and it was Biden and Kamala who were supporting hundreds of billions of dollars being sent to Ukraine and like all this kind of stuff. And so Trump is just continuing
and then he goes
that.
and does this.
This, like, to me, I'm like, I get it. I understand that the Iranian regime is evil, but there's a lot of evil governments out there, right?
Is any government good?
Yeah. There's a lot of evil regimes.
Yeah.
Why not North Korea? Well, it's the nuclear thing. Well, you knocked that out in July, right? And you could knock it out again, right? Why not North Korea? Right? Why not Afghanistan? The Taliban, like they just took it over. Why not Afghanistan? Right? Why not Russia? They seem to be doing stuff.
They
right?
do.
Right?
Lots
Why
of
not
stuff.
take them out? Why not all
Well,
this?
that's a different story. It feels like as soon as that, you can't cross that line. We don't want to do that.
This feels easy. Yeah, you're right. But this feels easy.
Well, it's
it's
clearly
not
the
easy.
easy one.
It's not easy. And I don't like, I mean, maybe, when this airs, we'll sound like idiots because it'll be over. I think the way
it's okay. I've already established myself as
sure,
that.
but
Your reputation's on the line,
yeah,
not mine.
I mean, one of the things, we can't predict the future, but I'm like, I think the way this ends is Trump gets bored and it fizzles out, and we start watching The Bachelorette with the chick from
Mormons. The Mormon, yeah.
Like literally. And
Although I almost filming on hold because of some serious domestic.
I would imagine. I would imagine.
There.
I've seen her yelling into the phone, but.
Is it her that's the one that's on the chopping block, or is it her former partner? Let's get into that.
Yeah, but I think it's important that we do. No, but I think. I brought up Age of Attraction earlier because I love the show. No, because we are so distracted.
The Age of Attraction.
And you know what? Tim Dillon, and this is our second guy we brought up, Tim Dillon said earlier from his podcast.
Fellow podcaster. He's had us on a few times.
Yeah, he's friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
And he said, he's like, whatever happens in this situation, we're getting exactly what we deserve. Because we put our faith in Trump. Meanwhile, we're eating our fast food. We're numbed out on our phones. We're watching our Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and our Bachelorette while real life is happening. And we're kind of cheering this on. And people are being like weirdly like the bloodlust of it is a bit weird in America, right?
It's
like,
getting that way with a lot of things.
People are like, yeah, it's sweet. Oh, you see that? And it's, I don't know. Maybe
we're trained for that, though.
Maybe I'm just getting older because I'm like, the Iraq War was insane. Like they lied to us.
Yeah.
And you've heard veterans at like meetings being like, they lied to us then, and this is not real.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of like former veterans that have spoken out about that. Even coming back from the war, it seems like they're not like, protesting it, but there's a lot of veterans have platforms now, like decent platforms where they have, their fellow veterans on. And there does seem to be a groundswell of opinion from former soldiers who fought in those wars, being very upset with them.
Totally, and I think
we can
kind of like.
I don't want to speak on behalf of all the veterans out there,
and we will say like I love American military history. I love American history. I love the country of America. I was born there, and And I think it is one of the most amazing countries in the history of the world.
I love it too. I shop there.
And I support the military and think it's awesome to the point where I'm like, maybe they don't need to die for a war that's not theirs again.
Well, have you heard, I mean, this is probably my own algorithm feeding me this fear-mongering nonsense. It could be nonsense, could be real, but that there's been like these kind of people are picking up on the sense that from like speaking or politicians speaking about the war, that the draft is on the table again. I know it's crazy, but there's definitely people that are speculating about.
I mean,
this.
look, if you're gonna take on a million,
well, that's when you said that number,
especially if China, because China is the supporter of Iran. Same with Russia.
And are they equipping them?
I
with
think
armaments?
they are. I think they are, and I think that I read in the Spectator. People have been thinking about this, how like Trump's actual game, or whoever is making the call, Trump's actual game here is to take Iran off is one of China's chess pieces.
Yeah.
And so it's reshifting the world order back towards where America is hegemonic, and not China. Now, if that is the geopolitical game we're playing here, I would be more in favor, because I do think America being top dog, protecting the seas, promoting freedom, promoting human rights, even though they are, a broken and messy whatever, I do think them being top dog is the best case scenario for this broken world that we live in, compared to more a communist dictatorship like China.
Of course.
And I know that's not
secret
popular.
Lives of the Mormon wives. That happens.
Yeah. What about the Mormon wives? They're like the least Mormon human beings I've ever seen on that show. Like, there's no.
It's wild from what
I've heard. They're not Mormon at all.
I haven't seen it, but it's just a bunch of swingers, isn't it? It's true.
Our kind of show. All right. Well,
we don't have to end there.
When we that was our secret. When we get back, we're gonna talk next week about what we did here.
We're gonna do 20th Century Fox, the history of the song, and ultimately the recorder version of it.
20th Century Israel.
Oh,
and we're gonna do 5,000 years, but. We'll do
in an hour.
We'll cover 5,000.
No, we'll do 2 episodes on Israel, and then we'll kind of move on from there, and we'll see where the war's at when we
get there.
When we get there, and we'll do 2 episodes on Israel, and Israel and Iran are probably my 2 favorite Middle Eastern countries to study. Yeah.
Well, me too. I mean, with you, right here, right now. Crash course in Iranian history for John O'Shea.
We should name this Crash Course History.
Yeah, except there's lots of... Yeah, we can't do that. It's all right. Maybe we'll get on that show one day.
I don't think he's making new episodes, is he?
I don't think he is either.
Watch his Iranian Revolution thing. It's really good.
I will.
Yeah. Well, or not just you, but...
Why do I get homework every time I come on this show? I'm supposed.
Or the people who are watching.
Well, you're saying it to me.
I know. I'm saying everything to you.
Yeah, I know. Guys, watch the Crash Course Iranian History episode, please. That's your homework for next time.
We got a lot of people we can send this episode to.
Yeah.
Shane Gillis, Tim Dillon.
Shania Twain.
Shania Twain. Man, I feel kind of Iranian. Bam, 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 bam. Dude, that joke there, we're screwed. Do you say? And so I said, I had told you so. All right. Well, can we wrap it up, son?
We sure can. Thanks a lot for listening to the History Rhymes podcast, where we cover history and connect the dots through to modern day. We're looking forward to next time.
Dude, it's going to be unreal.
It's going to be awesome. We did a great job today.
You did a great job.
No.
Thank you for joining us for the History Rhymes podcast, possibly the greatest podcast in history. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, catch you later, historians.